Bronny can go in front of Ian.
Nigga, my mama gonna go to war, nigga. I don't give a fuck how old she is or how old I am. So if I got a pops, that nigga gonna do this. Well, he better do this. That's right.
Yeah. But now we're opening the door for all of these parents to start coming out and protecting their kids.
If you think that's bad, wait till you see Shador.
Right, it's about to get
Dion already doing that. We all saw what we saw. You know what we saw.
That's elementary school.
No.
That's all
when you a teammate, he push him like, man, like, let's go. He push him like, get off of me. Get off of me. Get off me. No, don't touch me. Was it worth the $30,000? Now? In the moment.
In that moment.
In the moment.
He was up.
You remember? Was it bingo night or was it? 44. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But I'm gonna keep it high level, and this is gonna just give you the beats. And I give you my opinion at the end on all of these topics. But what's going on, the core issue, is the carriage rights fee.
First of all, start off the right way. Exactly. Let me start out like this. This is why I'm broke and you got money. This whole Dak Prescott saga.
What are those? On the field, I got metric after metric. He's a winner. Okay, he's number one in all categories for the Dallas Cowboys first 5 seasons. Off the field, unquestionable character. Like, the only thing you got on Dak Prescott is, I am undisputed.
Oh, come on. And me playing basketball, and I just want to line up.
He's getting up.
And show, yeah, we doing this for real.
He's first.
I want to go rebound.
This one?
Cut that up, baby. This boy, it's wet time. That's what I do.
I still don't know why this is a pick, except exceptional play by the defender. Look at that. 2 dudes reaching, and then he comes between them and say, let me split this bunk bed. And I'm out of here. Shotgun snap, slips. Oh, that's ugly. Sack on your first play ever in the NFL. Y'all know your nightmares came true. You're like, God dang. Oh, yeah, this ain't it. Look at this blitz right here.
I mean, he only knows so much what he's reading off stats, off paper. I mean, everything's good on paper. But I would always love to hear it from a player because they play the game.
What about a journalist? Like, being real, NARPs are journalists. Like, you're from that pool, right? So imagine somebody just said, you didn't play the game. I don't want to hear it.
She would have a living room full of people at about 10 p.m. probably every other Friday or Saturday. Come up here and I already know what they want, and I got to sing whatever song I got.
Did you say song. Sing, not rap? You said sing, huh?
Sing. Yeah, they ain't trying to hear no rap. They ain't trying to hear no rap. Yeah.
You think you can do something with that? Hey man, Michael Jordan too light in the tail.
Okay, you know what? Big dog?
Yes.
I ain't light in the tail. If you want some of this, let's go one-on-one right now. Everyone's playing the hits, but I'm a DJ. And one thing I know from my DJing experience is that you don't just play the hits. You play things that people haven't found out about yet. Discovery. Not up to me. I don't have this ego where I'm a buck, talk trash, and be like, yo, I don't like this. I'm gonna be like this. All right, I got enough talent. I got enough belief in me. I know what I want to do. Yep, let me go do it. Wah, 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 wah. What's crackin', maggin' from the jaggin' to the baggin'? I don't even know if that's the real lyrics of that because I'm not very proficient in lyrics. I know a lot of melodies. I can sing a lot of songs, and then you be like, what you just say? Slow it down, say it again. I'll be like, I don't know. Yo, what I do know, it's a lot going on in the sports world, a lot going on in the media world, and I do know there's a lot going on in life. So we're going to have some fun today as we travel through all of this. Obviously, we're going to get into Acho's clapback for Stephen A. Smith's personal commentary on Zion Williamson, which led to Cam Newton jumping in the fold. We're going to do that. We got to talk more about Bam Adebayo. What if you were Bam? Are you getting 83? We're going to talk through that. Got some videos on that, how devastating this Max Crosby trade really is to the Raiders. how they feeling about it. Had to dig up a Bill Burr versus Jason Whitlock kind of conversation issue because there's something deep in there that I think the sports world missed. We're going to go there. Ryan Clark is upset. Damn it, using him in some damn war videos. So it's a whole lot of stuff. You know we're going to do way more. We're going to act the fool. We're going to do what we do. So let's get into this thing right here. Acho, Cam, Stephen A. Yup.
Stephen A. made it personal. And that's what Stephen A. often does. In the sake and in the name of entertainment, he made it personal. But the other problem is, like, people get on me, Acho, your career this, your career that, and I hear them. But, like, what was hard for me is people who literally didn't make it to the league.
Pause.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Cam. Pause. Woo. One thing I have an issue with, and I can't even lie to y'all since y'all my people, I got an issue with people who feel like they up because somebody else is down. Now, you got to understand the difference between the relative sense of that and the absolute sense of that. I'm not the person that is relative. I'm an absolutist. So therefore, if I'm up, I'm just up. It's really not in reference to where you are. It's just, I know this is good, so this is up. Some people are like that. I'm not alone. But then there are some people who are like, I'm up because guess what? Look down there. Look at them, right? I know one in my family, I want to call you out so bad, my wife. Basically, they feel up when they see the seesaw down. Right? They just see other people like, oh, okay, I got them. And you know what? As much as I judge them, look, biblical world, they talk about that, like the relative sense. Oh, you eat the apple, now you're not absolute. Now you know you're naked. Now how do you know you're naked? Because you know you used to have clothes, etc. So I don't really want to judge them because I don't think they're on a lower moral ground, but it is a place. Acho is in that place right now. Acho had his career. We know what it was. First of all, I told Acho when I met him, I was like, dog, you over here taking all this water in because you had a bad NFL career. Dog, you went to Texas. Like, for me, I build it up like this. You must have been a dude for the University of Texas with the Longhorns showing up at your door trying to recruit you. I don't give a damn if you went to high school right down the street, which you did. But still, point is, dog, you went to Texas. You got to build yourself up instead of tear yourself down. You know, count those with you, not against you. So Acho always got this little insecurity. I get it. But then to play it, he played it like how people do it on the seesaw. He said, well, I made it to the league and y'all didn't even make it. So what you talking about? So we can always go there because there's somebody who didn't make it to the league say, I played in college. You ain't even play in college, did? Or you ain't play in high school. You ain't play in Pop Warner. You ain't never watched the game. You know what I mean? Like, how far are we going to go down the petty train? How far are we going to go down the petty lane?
Right there, Peggy.
My good brother in content, Mr. Emmanuel Acho, times have changed. And trust me, I have changed with those times. Now, given that we have these...
I got to stop it because he did it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and become a member. Do it right now. Right now. And we'll get it.
Illustrious platforms to talk our opinions, be it that it may. You can't just listen to only the people who've played this said game.
Nah, you can't. You can't. And look, it was a grand, great insecurity of all former athletes who were trying to enter the space of the journalists. They had us fooled. They had us shook. Oh, you're in our world now. Like we didn't know subjects and predicates. Like we didn't know nouns and verbs and adjectives. Like, oh, you're over here now. Did you do your homework? Did you do your research? Did you really interview everyone? And so we were just playing, and then they were talking about us, and the narrative would shift based on what they said more so at times than what we did. Right? Like, think how many times between games you were getting your head filled of stuff so that when you saw the game, you were really watching it for the storylines. You were really watching the game to see if that came true. Oh, yeah, I heard he had a little issue in the locker room last week. Ooh, let's see if he plays like it. Oh, I heard that they not cool on the team. Ooh, let's see if they got beef. Oh, I heard there's tension there. Like all these kind of things. Oh, I heard he not really tough. He ain't a clutch player in the fourth quarter. He don't want it. Oh, he missed a shot in the fourth. You know what I mean? Like they give you the bias that they had, and then we were going out for the confirmation of that same bias. That's how the game really went. So you got to think about it. When athletes, and I'm not like I'm not level 1 or even level 2. I would say level 3. Because level 1 is like O.J. Simpson and them kind of cats. Like, you know what I mean? And then level 2 is like Amar Rashad and Kenny Smith and all them. Then level 3 is kind of like me. Like, all right, we got some personality coming in here now after the Best Damn Sports Show, et cetera. So when we get in the game, we starting to look at them journalists like, y'all kind of dusty, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I hear you. And then you saw the journalists respond to the athletes starting to come in. And guess what the journalists did? They said, well, let's flex. Let's show personality. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, that early mid-2000s. They start saying, we better throw away these books, throw away this typewriter. We better start talking that talk, acting like the athletes. Like, yeah, you did it, but so what? I'm it. Right? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? All right, so it's basically at the club. You got the NBA player at the club next to the guy who's a hedge fund CEO. And he out here eating. Yeah. We here too. The nerds are taking over too. So that's what happened. And you look at all of that and you're like, damn, the athletes got sucked into it, including the Acho. Keep going.
So when you have ridicule or you critique Stephen A. Smith for not playing, and then you talk about Skip Bayless for not playing,
yeah,
I will call, well, your co-host.
Yeah.
He didn't play. So you don't listen to him, and he just had a viral clip or a clip with a strong message
to Stephen A.
that denounced Stephen A.
Okay, here's the thing. We're trying to find out just like we do in all sports. So let's not misconstrue this. And I know to make your argument, to make your point, Cam will do this, Acho will do this, but I'm here to referee this. And even in sports, even if you play, even if you're Acho, Acho is not Marcellus Wiley. Marcellus Wiley is not Cam Newton. Cam Newton is not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is not Tom Brady. Like, we all go to the levels. Like, that's the thing about sports. If you watch the sideline, we get into position groups. And then when we leave the sideline, when we leave the field, we go into our own social circles. And it's rankings. Oh, it's a pecking order. Like, right? Even in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Famers talk about, oh, there's a big table. And then there's a bunch of little tables. So it's okay. If Acho wants to play that game, that's how we started this off. If he wants to play the relative game, let him play it. You want to play the absolute game, you can play it. But for us to battle each other, we're not playing the same.
Aaron Hickey Simple. Like, that's his co-host. And just to say to that point, I definitely don't like this. I don't agree with it. I don't respect that part from Acho. Because one thing about people that didn't play the game, including myself at a professional level, that doesn't mean you can't critique and report on the game. And I want to say this to all the players that played too.
I'm going to say this, Peggy, because I love Peggy. Let me say this. Remember growing up, people was like, man, put that little gun down. They were talking about 22s. Remember deuces? Deuce revolver was my problem solver. Had a deaf girl, really didn't want to involve her in the gangs of LA. Ice-T, okay? So anyway, a deuce ain't the same as 4-4 bulldog, your mother, you remember? All right, they change. There's different calibers. So everybody know there are bullets. Everybody got bullets. Everybody can shoot. Everybody can shoot. You can shoot some spit, and it can be spit in the wind, but you shooting it, right? You can shoot a rock. You can shoot whatever you got, but don't act like we all shooting the same thing, because we're not. And I think Acho's like, okay, if we're going to play this game where we ranking me, well, let's rank you. And as high as you are, and as low as I may be, there are lower. You are lower, Peggy. Care Bear is lower, etc. Stephen A. lower. Skip Bayless lower. Like, if we playing this game, let's play it.
As you get on these shows, these podcasts, you have to understand these same reporters as your Stephen A's, even people well before Stephen A., your Nick Wrights, all the women reporters that haven't played the game. You got to understand all the people that came before you have opened up the avenue for you even to be on to talk about the game.
Okay, this is what I always get irked. Don't be talking about pioneer paving no way. Look, there's former athletes that pioneered and paved the way. Okay, so I can stay in my lane and say, look, I ain't got to give credit to everybody. First of all, I got my inspiration not from watching them. You know how many times somebody who is current doesn't even know somebody who is former? My daughter loves rap music. She loves it. Like, she all into it, Future and all that kind of stuff. She loves it. I played Run DMC for her. She was like, what's this? I was like, what? This was like the biggest group in the 80s. She was like, oh. I played NWA. She kind of knew it just because I'm from Compton. She was like, you play this a lot. Who are they again? What A and W? I was like, it ain't root beer. Like, the point is, not everybody who's into something is into the history of it. And don't you dare say, oh, well, you missing out and all that. Yeah, they may be, but you also probably missing out on the present because you don't know all the stuff that they got going on. So I just love how we both just sitting there with the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other. But you got to understand this, Peggy. Not everybody got the same ammunition. The women you were talking about football. Mina Kimes. Come on, man. If Mina Kimes is sitting there chopping it up, I'm listening. I'm like, oh, she killed that. Now, at the same time, if I see Shannon Sharp talking about the same thing, I'm like, oh, he killed that. And it might have more weight, depending on how he said it, depending on what he said. But if he hits, if they both hit, oh, it's going to hit harder if Shannon Sharp hit it.
And that's one avenue that we don't ever talk about. It's like, oh, you can't say that. But somebody gave you an avenue to be sitting on your platform as a former player to even make this something that you can possibly do. And vice versa. You all have given us as reporters, as analysts, the avenue to critique the sport. So it is hand to hand. And you can't play the big dog role every time. Well, you ain't play, so you can't say that.
Because well. You can play that card. I'm all over the place because I agree with everybody. This is so funny. This is a fascinating, the myriad of options. All these guys are right and wrong. Listen to this. I'm listening to Stephen A. Smith kill an athlete. This one was about Zion, supposedly. You killing them. Okay. And then you made it personal, which made Acho have to come at you. Okay. But how did you kill an athlete and you didn't play? Oh, we gave you license to do that. Okay. All right, someone paved the way for an opportunity. Jamie Horowitz, I don't know. Someone gave you the platform to come across and come off as important as those you're critiquing. Okay, we balanced that out. To me, that's magic. We made someone who never did this have the power to criticize it like he can or he did it. Wow. Voila. All right, so give him love. But at the same time, if that occurs, then someone who did it can now turn the tables on you and say, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? And hit you with it. And you better duck.
And that's just speaking on my two cents.
That's perfectly said, but I'll say it like this. If we as former athletes want to play this, well, you didn't play, what gives you the right to say it? Well, you still talk about basketball. You didn't play basketball. You didn't play tennis. You're like, why are you talking about it?
He's taking it outside of sports. You still give your thoughts and your process on personal matters or things that you might think should happen that you ain't never went through.
Okay, now we in new ground. I love it. Now, be real. You gotta be yourself, you gotta be your mouth, and you gotta be someone else's ears. When it's leaving your mouth and I'm sitting up here talking about basketball, y'all know how sorry I was in basketball. Played 1 year of basketball at the age of 8. Won a championship. None of the games were close. I looked at my team and said, we are insane. My coach, who was my football coach, was my basketball coach. And the only reason I was out there because I was a good football player. He's like, run up and down the court and get rebounds. I forgot that I needed to learn how to dribble. I sucked. 5 points the whole season, had 4 in one game. 2 of them were free throws. I sucked. At 8, I made the realization I ain't good for basketball. Like Randy Moss said he did in high school. Like, no, I'm good. I should have kept playing. But the point is I sucked. But I still talk about basketball. I've hosted shows where we lead off, we talking basketball. But don't you ever think, every time I was talking, and I'm sitting there and I'm next to, y'all saw it even in the intros, CJ McCollum or something. I'm sitting there talking to Lonzo Ball, all the intro guys I showed. And they start talking, guess what? There's the reason I got 2 ears and only one mouth. I'm all ears. Come on, dog. I got respect for that. Doesn't mean that they're going to beat me in this argument. Doesn't mean that their opinion is grander than mine. It just means they're giving me a context and a perspective that I don't possess. I listen to that with open arms and open ears. You have to. They've been in it. If not, okay, you talking your way all the way through it. Good luck with that.
Talk about relationships. Some of us ain't never been in a relationship. Been married. I know I've talked about marriage. I ain't never been married.
But that don't mean you don't know what you know.
For sure. And
No. See, I'm married. And I also know that I wasn't married. See, this is the beauty of perspective. Athletes give perspective to sports, where a journalist can give opinion and critique, right? Which is like we need both. The athlete is the coloring book you see at the store. It is just a big old outline and you can see the image. You're like, oh, I see what that is. But then you can have a journalist with the crayons coloring it in, giving it the emotional context, giving it the critique, giving it the praise, etc., bringing it to life. Like, journalists are important. Without journalists, games would not be that important. We wouldn't have rivalries because the players don't hate each other. Think about it. Journalists created rivalries. Look, I'm on one team. I'm on the Steelers and you on the Ravens. We just playing ball. Then all of a sudden someone tells me, oh, I'm supposed to hate you, or I do hate you, or I told you I don't like that dude. But guess what? I don't like I don't like a dude on the Cardinals. Why that ain't a rivalry? Because the journalist didn't make it one. See what I'm saying? When Peyton Manning came out first and Tom Brady came out and Tom Brady was on the bench, nobody was talking about Manning versus Brady. As soon as Tom Brady gets his first start against my Chargers, he throws his first touchdown right against me when I'm coming around the corner, 2 steps away. He's like, pop. And then Tom Brady start balling. It still wasn't no Manning versus Brady. They both were in the league. They both were athletes and quarterbacks. They both were starting at this point. No rivalry. You know what happened? That boy Brady went out there and won that ring that first year he started. All of a sudden they said, we got something here. And there's a dude who was number 1 overall. He's been number 1 overall since he was 4 years old. His name is Peyton Manning. He's the sheriff. He is a computer on the field, Omaha, all this. And he's there. He's amazing. However, there's this other guy who was a 6th rounder who had to struggle to even get some playing time at times in Michigan with Drew Henson. And he just barely made the team. And then he makes the team. He's on a team with a $100 million quarterback. His name is Drew Bledsoe. And Drew Bledsoe's the first guy to ever get that type of money. He was a dude. He already been to a Super Bowl before. But he gets hurt. And now you're the quarterback. And no one thought anything of it until you won a Super Bowl. And that offseason they said, guess what we going to do? We're going to create a rivalry. You think Brady was mad at Manning and Manning was mad at Brady? I thought Peyton might have been like, damn, this dude won a Super Bowl his first year start. Come on now. And then they set it up. And then every year Peyton would struggle in the playoffs, even though he had some success against Tom Brady. When he didn't win it all, oh, it just built it up more. And Brady kept winning them. Oh, it just kept. Who created that? Go. Athlete, or journalist? Y'all getting the picture now, huh? And I could go on and on for days and days of how we both need each other. But we also can go at each other, and we going at it right now.
You can't give your opinion about it. So it's like, yes, I was one of those, and I would say I was one of those that had this same thought process of, hey, what gives you the right to say it?
Yeah.
If anything, I do kind of believe what Emmanuel says. We are experts, and this is paraphrasing, but with what he said, we are experts in our field because we have the experience.
Correct.
But people who also watch us on sidelines for years, covering us, are experts because they tell a different story. They have a different view.
For sure.
My experience is my expertise. That's a Wileyism. I use it all the time. So I hear you, Cam. But be real. You can have siblings. You can have a twin, an identical twin. And imagine, because you're always around them, raised in the same home, got the same parents, you guys share clothes, you guys twin every day, wearing the same outfits. Could you speak to all of them? What all they possess, all their thoughts, all their actions. Could you speak to that? No, you couldn't. Could you speak to everything they've ever done? I vouch for my brother. I know everything about him. No, you don't. Stop lying. No, you don't. Because I guarantee you, every human being walking this planet now or ever has at least 5 things that they've done that nobody else knows unless somebody else was involved. You hear what I just said? Unless the other person was there, if no one was there, there's about 5 things you've done no one knows. That time you lit them damn napkins up. And then had to get a water bottle, you had to run around and get a water bottle and throw it out before you burned up the apartment. Raise your hand. That time you and Treasure and Tiffany all took that long walk of playing hide and go get it. What happened? Come on now. Like our lowlights, we keep them low. The lowlights are buried. So nobody can vouch for all of you. So therefore, you're going to need each other to really round out perspective. Simple. You can't be sitting there talking about, oh, I'm the athlete. I know it all. Okay, but what about vantage point? That's why we watch film. Athletes, when we play, we think we've seen it all. We think, man, I was out there, and I saw him, and his elbow, and I hit it, and I was like, oh, man, I got this fool. And then you watch the film, and you be like, oh, he tripped over the other lineman. Boy, I've been in the game before. I thought I put on the monster rip move. Yeah. And then got the sack. I'm over here dancing. You know, the Jumbotron looking blurry. Everybody, Come back and watch film Monday. Man, that fool tripped over his teammate. Jesus. Thought that was a better sack than that.
Of covering this, whether it's sport or this said topic, subject. And we can't muzzle them because they didn't play. Because I'm fans of Nick Wright. I'm fans of Stephen A. Smith. I'm fans of Skip Bayless. I'm fans of said individuals, Jason Whitlock, contrary to what people may believe.
Okay, let's start there and get some love. First of all you members out there, get that shout out. Shout out to Brian Untitled. Brian Untitled saying, he said, I took his whole point, or Cam, somebody took your point. All right, hey, that means you on point if somebody took your point. Shout out to Chaotic Jester 68. Love to all the members in the building. We about to chop this up. Hey, we got some time today. Let's have some fun with this topic. You're a fan of Jason Whitlock. See, this is why I like Cam. He got to be a fan of Jason Whitlock to some degree, because you can't act like in the absolute world that someone who has a name, reputation, platform like Jason Whitlock, say what you want if you like it or not. We know of him. We know he's been in the game, doing it, killing it for a while. He ain't said something you liked. That's why I don't like people who like D.L. Hughley when they just go too far. And I only bring him up because y'all know him. And he gets to a place where it's like, I don't want to hear that. Oh, you're on the other side. Dog, I grew up in a Crip neighborhood. And I knew Bloods. And I wasn't a banger, though. But at the same time, you act like I'm about to cut off half of LA's population in the gang world just because I had teammates that was Crips and Bloods. I'm like, well, y'all better figure it out. But we ain't fighting today. No, we not. We trying to win this game. Like, I hate when people say, okay, so that's who you are. You're a Democrat? Oh, I don't want to hear it. You're a Republican? You can't dispose of someone entirely just because they disagree with you. Just respectfully disagree.
There are some points that does come off that's like, yo, you know what? Mm-hmm. You got Colin Cowherd. You got numerous people that have not played and even came close to playing.
Molly, yeah.
And Colin's the best at radio. Him and Dan Patrick, but Colin's that dude. Them opinions. Some of them, obviously, like everybody's. You're like, oh, I don't agree with that. But Colin be coming, back. Whitlock. Say what you want. Whitlock is the one guy I know, especially when it comes to a community issue, black people issue, that everybody start dancing, or they do this. Oh, God, I can't have black Twitter against me, so I'm going to say what I know everyone wants to hear and pander. Whitlock ain't doing none of that. And be real. Come on, because I hate this. This is one thing I hate. People be giving their on-air opinion, and then they give their off-air reality. You're like, dog, why you say that and you know you living different than that? We know the hypocrisy. We know the contradictions. We can see him a mile away. One thing I respect fully about Jason Whitlock, working with him and just still watching his commentary, is the fact that if it needs to be said, it's going to be said, even if you don't like it.
But when you start to talk about the L. Duncans, when you start to talk about the Molly Karams, when you start to talk about the Shea Cornettes, when you start to talk about so many different people that may not have ever played, you can't listen to what they say.
Nah, he didn't say that. I think what he was really trying. Look, we got his video coming up too. We got time today. I think he was saying like, look, if y'all want to say I don't count, I'm looking at the people who didn't even play. Like, what are they then? So by saying what are they then? What is Stephen A. Smith? You got to say, oh, well. So you're doing Cam, you're falling for the trap. So then you're going to defend Stephen A. Smith. So as you defend Stephen A. Smith, you prop him up. And as you prop him up, guess who you got to prop up even higher? Acho, because at least he played. You get it? So it's a twist. Acho probably didn't even know he did it. But the point is, oh, what are you talking about? You never played. And then you're going to be like, no. And you're going to be like, yeah, you got it.
And it's just, it's contradicting. Because sometimes, even on your own platform, Emmanuel, a person did not play, but yet you're giving him a platform to speak on.
And I would say this too. I think the merit is different because as a reporter or analyst, someone that might see it on the sidelines, it is certain vantage points that you all have being on the field and knowing what it is to go through the locker room. But it is vantage points of being off the field, hearing the crowd, knowing the fans, hearing what other reporters are reporting, hearing what the other team is saying about queuing in on whatever athlete at the time. So it's pros and cons and benefits on both ends. So that's one thing we are living in,
let me see. It's spectrums of light. Like, if you ever seen light, like it's all the different colors, it's all the different layers and all of those expressions coming together. This is why I do this show. If you guys really listen to me, you know what I'm really doing. I'm grabbing all the stuff, all the craziness out there, all the goodness out there, and just really trying to distill it to like a commonality. I'm trying to bring unity. I'm trying to make it like, dog. And I'm not going to lead with, I'm a man. I'm not going to lead with, I'm a big black man. I'm not going to lead with anything, because none of that matters when it comes down to it. I'm a human like you. You know what's crazy? The reason why I never became like super tough testosterone dude is because, you know me, I live by my logical brain. And I was like, I didn't even choose to be a man. If y'all ever think crazy like that, and it's not really that crazy, you're like, I can't ride or die for something I ain't even choose. Like, that's why I laugh when people get all caught up in their looks, whether it's good or bad. I was like, you didn't choose this. It's your ugly mama or ugly. So it's like, dog, I'm never going to go. I'm not going on the cross. I'm not dying for something I didn't even choose. Now, my babies, my kids, you got me. I chose to make them. I chose to have that. I chose to be responsible for them. So it's weird. Like, if I didn't choose it, like I'm walking around here, hey, this is all 6'4" gang. Everybody 6'4" and up. What's up? We ride. Like, what? I could have been 5'4", and it would, to me, would have been the same dude. Obviously, it would have probably been different. I can't ride or die for something I ain't even pick. So when I look at people, you know, feminists, or I look at people and they just like, oh, we are this type of group, my identity, and I'm like, yeah, if you picked it, but if you didn't pick it, what you riding for? You could have easily been something else. Then you would have rolled for that.
In a day and age where everybody has a mic.
Everybody has a
mic. And it's been like that for a long time. But now it's visual. Typically, it would just stay in the comments on messaging boards. But now everybody has a mic and everybody can speak. Now, how much we listen to them, that's contingent on the said individual.
Yeah, the said individual, blah, blah, blah. What it really has shifted from is it used to be informative. Like, who is informing me? Who is educating me? Because there was a scarcity model. We only had so few channels. We only had so few mics, only so few people on it. So we had to just take what they gave us. Kind of like the origins of soul food. Like, soul food really was like, all right, here's a leftover. This is all we got. Next thing you know, you out here swearing, oh my God, chitlins are the best. Hog maws are amazing. Well, you made it that because you ain't had no options. You know what I'm talking about? So when you get to that place, You can make anything lemonade. Grab them lemons, squeeze them. Got some lemonade, right? Add a little sugar. Doesn't mean it was originally good or great. And doesn't mean original sports reporting and journalism was originally good and great. It's just all we had. Hello and welcome to Lambeau Field as we are ready for this buckle-up matchup. Now, you imagine trying to get some, other than broadcast TV, which you're forced to watch it once again, proving my point. If you're not forced to do it, are you going to watch that version or are you going to watch the Manning cast? Hey, Peyton, like, shut up, man. Sit down. Come here. Hurry up and come check this play out. You know what I mean? So now we have options, and they don't switch from the informative model to the entertainment model. And it's crazy because ESPN knew that from way back in the 70s, even though they had to play the game of informing. But they knew, what does the E in ESPN stand for? Informing? No, that's an I. Entertainment. It comes down to that. So now, let's be entertained. Are you not yet entertained? Acho, it's your turn to retort. As I get into these comments, let me give some love to y'all. Like, subscribe, and become a member so I can read your comments a lot easier. Chaotic Jester said, call my mom ugly one more time. Dog, I don't care if I call somebody ugly. I don't know why you're so mad. So what? If someone thinks you're cute, cool. I don't care how ugly you are. Somebody thinks you're cute. I don't give a damn. I've seen couples that I'm like, I've seen itty bitty couples. You ever seen a couple like both of them are like 3 feet? It's always somebody out there. Look, there's girls out there right now that look at me like, psh. I see it all the time. It used to be a day I walked in the club, whether it was my money, my status, or I am actually a good looking dude, but whatever. I used to win. I go to that same spot now, I'm going to lose. I know it. I can see it. I can smell it. Girls ain't looking at me. They looking at somebody with collagen still. You know what I mean? They don't want this. Even though I ain't got no wrinkles, they don't want this. They can, as soon as they see me, they can be like 48, 50, maybe 44. Security. Ain't nobody stupid. So we're not playing that game. Call it like it is. Balls are balls and strikes are strikes. Let's go, Acho.
These are my dogs, too. Shout out to everything they do on 4th and 1. I do not have an issue with somebody not playing, giving a take. It's not my issue at all. It is when your take becomes damning, belittling, or demeaning.
Did y'all hear that? He said it. I went through that whole thing with Cam and that little song and dance, and Cam misread it. It wasn't about you didn't play. It's about, oh, you didn't play and you going there on them? Personal. Let him tell you.
That's when it's like, whoa. Particularly the nature of the take.
When you make it personal.
Yeah. Like, I don't have an issue with somebody not playing, right? I didn't play at I played at the highest level, but I didn't play at the highest level of the highest level.
Told you about that insecurity. It's real. It's real. Acho, like, y'all done beat it into Acho, that dog, he's less than sometimes. I mean, look, he just said, I didn't play at the highest level. How did that even leave your mouth if you went to Texas and played in the NFL? But you know why? Because them comments, all them things y'all be saying, you know, y'all got to his mental health to make the man think he ain't even playing the NFL. Then he had to correct himself. Freud said, we telling ourselves.
So, like, I ain't got an issue with, please give your takes if you didn't play. In the chat, we love y'all's takes. But, like, you can't be like, man, like, this dude don't even know what it takes to be great. You know how hard it is to make it to the league? Any league.
There you go.
Any league.
There you go.
Tennis, track, MLS, like any league. So when you see people saying like, yo, man, like this dude is a complete bum. He don't know what it takes. He ain't got the heart. T, I was talking to my friend about this the other day.
Before you talk to your friend about it the other day, talk to your old friend right here, right now, today. Here we go. That is pretty insulting. I mean, there's not a greater dig in the world, tell me if there is, than someone who didn't do it telling you you can't do it. You won't do it. I think worse than can't do it is won't do it. Because can't do it means like there's a limit. Like either you won't get the opportunity or you ain't built for it. But won't do it, it sounds like even if everything changes, everything works for it, you won't do it. Jesus. They both probably end in the same place, but it just feels like when somebody say, man, you won't. Like you can't hit me, you can't squabble, whatever. You won't. What'd you say? Like I won't? You never know. So I know that dig. And that dig hurts because it's like we are in a world where Stephen A. Smith has a megaphone and a platform so loud that you can actually say that, and it actually becomes fodder. It becomes something that even Zion has to work against. It's a headwind. It's a barrier. People are looking at him like, yeah, he look like he can't win. He won't win. What? I get that dig. And then if you're Acho, who's like, yo, I played at the highest level, but didn't play as well as I wanted, whatever. You just killed someone bigger than me, big bro in the league, big bro in the sports world. What you think about me? See, that's what we're really reacting to. What you saying about me? And if you saying that about him, which is higher than me in the sports world, well, then I'm going to look down at you. Because who in the hell are you to say it?
The reason I always brag about going to private school and all that other stuff is because I'm not insecure. I know if push comes to shove, I had to run through 6'3", 335-pound men's face mask. And I did it. So I don't need to act tough. When push comes to shove, I know I am tough. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So because I did it, I actually know what it takes to do it. I also know what it takes to have limitations and not being able to do it. That's why I actually can critique when dudes don't get it done. Because I'm like, as seven cut from the slot, that's harder to guard than you think. I got beat on it a lot. And so my issue was in response to what Stephen A. was saying about Zion. Not that Stephen A. was saying anything about Zion. If you ain't played, give your take. But you just got to be mindful of like, bro, you don't even have the competency of what it takes to achieve at that level or to get to that level in achievement. So you don't even know what you don't know.
Damn. That's a clip right there. Here's the thing. And this is not clout chasing, but this is some of the cons that come with Stephen A. Smith. Because Stephen A. Smith is like, look, I asked to be an athlete because I participated. I wanted to be a pro athlete. You never want to participate. I know like 0.001% of the guys. There was one at Dartmouth that I played against my senior year that don't want to go pro, but they playing. 99.99% of all guys playing and gals want to go pro. Problem is, pro tells you no. So you adjust. You go to a smaller school. You adjust. Okay, you stop at this level. You adjust. Stephen A. Smith, he adjusted, and his adjustment has turned out great, right? So now he's like, I got high, but not high enough. I played in college, did I? Or my kneecap, whatever. High school at least. And then that's it. I adjusted, and I can't talk about what I did. I can't talk about what I see. Because when he says greatness, this is to defend him, even though I don't agree with this. When I talk about greatness and can you do it or can you not, I have references, right? Just like when you selling your house, you have comps. Have you been in every one of those houses? Did you live in those houses? Did you really know if it was worth that? No. You just know what it says. You know what it does. You know the outline. He knows the outline of greatness. Stephen A. Smith does. It's not that hard to figure out, too. You can see the extremes like in Jordan and Kobe and Brady. And then you can see some of the lower levels, guys just barely, like they say Trent Dilfer or something like that. We've seen it. Champions that, different degrees and spectrum. So Stephen A., I hear you.
And so that's really my tension. If you've never played at all, please give your takes. But just be mindful of where to draw the line in giving your takes. That's why whenever Shady's like, Acho, watch how you talk about so I'm like, you know what? You're right. I was never an all-pro, let alone a perennial all-pro. So I always defer to Shady when we have these conversations. I'm like, you know what? I know what it takes to make it to the league. I had a couple games where I actually played at a high level. As a special teamer, I genuinely played at a high level consistently.
Okay, Al Bundy, shut that shit. That just sounded real poke high right there. I made a couple games. And whatever, we all got it. I had a couple good years. I know what you're saying, brother. Here's the thing. We're asking Stephen A. Smith to do something that we shouldn't ask because he made the adjustment to go from player to journalist to the top of media. And he did it because Acho said, you got to know where to draw the line. When everything flipped, everything changed in sports media is when those who knew where the line was crossed it. Those who knew what that line looked like and where it was were habitual line steppers. Those guys are the ones who were rewarded. Skip Bayless knew where the line was. Forget that, Westbrook. He knew where the line was. LeBron James was the chosen one, the king. Oh, forget him. Every game he does, there's something he could have did more. They knew where the line was. They played us. They played us so hard because it went from hello and welcome, and LeBron James just had an epic performance, 42 points. What do you think, Bill? Oh, my God. Haven't seen someone play this well. You know what I mean? We went through that. And then they were like, yeah, he gave us 42, but I don't know if y'all were really watching because in the fourth quarter, last time I checked, he wasn't really into it. What the fuck? He just had 42. They gonna have to see them again, and when they see them in the playoffs, I bet you 42 won't be enough. Welcome. We have been expecting you. The barbershop said yes, right? That's how the game goes, man. And we can't blame them because we gave it to them. We did. Thank you for the super chat, Chaotic Jester. Thank you, big dog. Hey, we did it.
So if you didn't ever play, I'm just like, just be mindful how much you demean when you truly like, bro, my coach, I was tackling Peyton Hillis in the open field. You remember Peyton Hillis?
Yes.
Peyton Hillis. Tackling Peyton Hillis in the open field. Peyton Hillis catches a check down. I'm 12 yards away. Hardest thing to do in football, make an open field tackle, especially versus 6'2", 235-pound corn-fed white boy. I'm running towards him. He running towards me. He looks me in my eye. Boom, boom, I go low. Bam! Hit him in the kneecap. He twirls. Jenkins makes the tackle. My coach, Acho, square him up. Run through him. Coach, you run through him. Because you don't know what running through Peyton Hillis feels like. This is Rick Minner. Rick Minner is the father of Jesse Minner. Jesse Minner, current head coach. Yeah, Rick Minner was my linebacker coach in Philly. Acho, run through him. Man, coach, I got a partially torn MCL and a torn groin. I'm just glad I got him down.
Hey, we having war stories on here. Oh, this is my type of hydration situation. Hey, that's real. At the same time, first of all, that is not the hardest thing to do is tackle Peyton Hillis in the open field. You want to know what the hardest thing? Tackle Antonio Brown in the open field. Jesus. Terrell Owens in the open field. Like, you want to talk some open field? Anyway, I know what he's trying to say. He's like, it's hell to pay no matter which way you go. And we all have sat there before and looked at the other person giving the instructions, the person with the title, the person with the accolade, the person with the authority, whatever it may be, and said, you do it. I got kids right now, 5, 7, and 10. When they teachers give them homework, their teachers tell them to do something, I literally had a parent-teacher conference yesterday. You know what the kids say sometimes? Why we got to do that? You do it. You know what I mean? So you could be in the classroom and think this is not unique to sports. Everyone always who has to go through the grind, the supervisor says, we need a lot more today. You know, the police chief who's saying, hey guys, you know, we're under our quota. Everybody like, well, you go. Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So that was my stance on it. If you ain't play ball, give your take. It's just be mindful of how much cayenne pepper you put in the back of that take. That's what I'm really getting
I think for me, whether you played or you didn't play, just never try not to make it personal.
I know what you're saying, TJ. Shout out to the homie. The incentives are shaping the behavior. I have not fully realized my potential in sports media journalism, in part is because I don't make it personal, or I don't make it personal enough. I don't go in. Think about what we're saying. We're saying give a take that's a little more generic. Give a take that's a little more round instead of pointed. If I had given, because y'all know I ain't dumb, so I could come up with these takes. It's a formula. If I had said, forget it, dog, I'm going in. You ain't gonna outsmart me. You ain't gonna out-joke me. What you gonna say? So the point is, the ones who won, the winners, have made it personal. Think about how many personal takes you heard from Skip, Stephen A, Colin. Now, there's another side to that of people who are up there who are not doing the personal ones. Pat McAfee, Dan Patrick. You can get up there another way. It's a different way, though. Both of those guys, which is interesting, had to go around. You know, Dan Patrick was the man, and then he had to leave ESPN, and then he did it though. Pat McAfee, they wouldn't let him in ESPN, then he did it though. So if you don't look, I'm not gonna tell anybody who's coming up if you wanna get up there, you wanna take the helicopter, the meteoric rise, make it personal.
Because there's a lot of players that they don't like it. They take offense to it when you make it personal because it feels as if you're talking about the person when it should always be the player. And so that to me is the biggest thing. Just keep it about the game. He not very good. He didn't make this play. Oh, he made a great play. But when you start making it personal, I believe that's when it becomes a problem, whether you played or you didn't play.
But you know what's crazy? What all the podcasts going on, like mine, like everybody else, players are now making it more personal than ever because it starts off like, oh, the journalists messed it up, man. They went in on us, so now we got to protect ourselves. New media. Then it turns into, oh, let me tell you this story that happened in the locker room. And then that gets traction, and that starts to become part of your agenda. And then now you start saying, oh, I told you the story, but let me tell you about him. Like, we doing the same shit. We just doing it later so it looks like it's new. Real spit.
I'll say, I mean, well, a lot of the takes that I end up having a lot of the time, I say I'm coming at it from a fan's perspective. I say that whenever we're talking about stuff in regarding the league, because I know both of you guys have been there before. I'm
only letting him go because he actually started all this. Care Bear started all this. He went there on Stephen A. Smith and said, oh, I had the worst experience ever when I met you, and I used to look up to you, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't know, this is where it all started. This is the genesis of it. Go ahead, Care Bear.
As a matter of fact, I think honestly, a lot of people in the sports media industry, a lot of players, former players, they do kind of make us that have not played at a high level feel welcome to share those takes. I don't feel like that's something that like continuously happens and whatnot. So the fact that it was like kind of a conversation about, well, you have another person that didn't play, and it's not about just like play. I don't think Acho was making that take. Otherwise, I don't think I would be here. It would be someone that had played before. I think in this situation with what Stephen A. said, Stephen A's coming at it. My issue wasn't even with the comments that he had about Zion, even though I thought that was crazy as well. My issue was coming at it about, right, you're having a popularity contest with players that are playing the game that you cover.
The power of this pause button. Stephen A. Smith, look, it felt weird. It felt yucky. Stephen A. Smith is over here comparing himself to the player, saying only Zion is more powerful or more popular than me. And you're like, what world, what dimension did I just enter? Where I'm watching a dude who's sitting up there with a suit on, who I've seen try to do things athletically, and let's just say it seemed like he was trying, is now comparing himself to them. But in the world of entertainment, in the soap opera world of sports, that wasn't a violation. It just felt weird, right? It's kind of like when you see a Tesla in the gas station. It ain't illegal. Especially when you're trying to cut through to get to that corner. You know what I'm saying? Vroom, vroom, it's a red light. Let me go through it. I do it all the time. But everybody like, what you doing here? That's how I felt when Stephen A. said it. Like, what you doing here? It ain't illegal, though.
Cover the sport. You got famous covering the sport, covering athletes that made it to a higher level of athletics that you did not make it to. So then for you to just be like belittling them in a way, it's kind of laughable to me because you wouldn't have been in that position if it wasn't for you covering those players. You weren't belittling the high schoolers that you were covering whenever you first got on the beat. You weren't.
I don't know about that. Kwame Brown somewhere.
Belittling the college players. You weren't belittling all of the local sources or local athletes that you got good sources or coaches that you talked to beforehand. But now that you've reached this heightened level of status, you're belittling players in the NBA who built your career. I think that was my frustration with it in a way. And also that's kind of been my frustration with Stephen A. as of late in general. I'm not saying he has to be eternally grateful or not able to critique players. Whenever he talked about Kwame Brown, that's the first very viral Stephen A. Smith. I'm very well versed on the Stephen A. stuff. Like I said, I was a fan of him. Biggest inspiration to get in this business. He's talking about Kwame Brown's game. Hey, he's a bona fide scrub. It's coming from the level of work that he put in. Whenever he's going at Jamarcus Russell, they give you a blank CD. You're not even looking at the film. It's all these other things. Whenever it gets personal to start talking about a man's diet and all this other stuff,
or Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Yeah. The thing is, it's more so. These are things that are getting in the way of them professionally. So I can understand why he has that type of take.
But here's my thing: is like
TJ, there's so much stuff when you don't play that it's like, but you don't even understand.
Yeah. I think the end game is really wake up, TJ. The end game is really skewing this conversation because I think everyone's walking in with a natural inclination, a natural bias of the goal is to be a pro athlete and to be the best pro athlete. Yes, we are understanding that, but the tides have changed. You know why that was the thing? You know why everyone wanted to be the pro athlete? It's because they were making so much money in their 20s. Your dad was at the steel mill. Your mom worked at the plant. And then you can just be a guy straight out of college and you make how much? So the esteem that came with that profession. Just like everyone wanted to be a doctor and lawyer growing up. That's kind of changed, right? Because they ain't making the same. Some are, some aren't. More want to be plastic surgeons. More want to get into that Hollywood world of, let's do this. Give you a BBL. They making more than somebody over there just trying to make sure you get your colonoscopy. That changed. Everything's changing. There are literal creators making more than CEOs. It's just a different world. So, Stephen A. Smith, we got to remember, it's not about being an athlete because nobody wanted to play football and get hit all day upside their head. But you're like, yo, the risk is worth the reward is worth the risk. I take that. Why? Because you knew what it could be. Why are all these parents invested in AAU, flag football, all this stuff? Because they want their kids to at least be in a team, be on a team, be in a team dynamic. Learn those life lessons, get you some NIL, get you a high school scholarship, college scholarship, go pro. It's all the incentives. I say that because Stephen A. Smith caught the wave, made the wave of guess what? I got all of those rewards and I still got this, not getting knocked up. And I ain't got no jumper unless I'm with lethal shooter. Point being, you're a pro athlete and you look like this to the side and Stephen A is in his jet next to yours and we trying to say he did something wrong? All I'm saying is in the world of entertainment, we all chose because of what we saw at the end game. Why do so few women want to play volleyball compared to basketball if they both 6 feet? If you give them a 6-footer a choice, she's like, I'm trying to basketball. Why? Because it's a little better end game. Now volleyball's trying to close that gap. Right? What do you always hear from women? I know it all day. Oh, I got a little athlete. She got to either play what? Tennis or what? Golf. Venus and Serena, anybody? So stop acting like Stephen A. ain't. We play an entertainment game now. He there.
And that's the hard part. Yeah. I remember, what's the dude, left Fox to go to ESPN, Good Morning Football.
Peter Schrager.
Peter Schrager's the homie. I remember he called out Ryan Clark one time, like, well, that's not fair. You know, Ryan's like, but you gave a take like you didn't play. I feel Ryan. Because, like, when you come at a player at a podium, why is the player acting like that? Have you ever lost a game or a match or something that meant the world to you, and now you got to answer all of these questions in the midst of it immediately after? When Cam lost the Super Bowl, y'all remember? He slouched like this at the presser, and everybody on Cam Newton. I'm like, bro, this man just lost the biggest game of his life.
Yeah, but stop. Hammer time. Stop. Cam has played in big games his entire career because he was big time. Won a national championship in college. I don't know what he did in high school, but I'm damn sure it was good. And you've been through the routine before. Win or loss, you've been through it. Oh, but he's devastated after a Super Bowl loss. Well, he ain't the first one to lose. He won't be the last one to lose. And it won't be his last game loss. Or it could be his biggest. Well, then that's when you're supposed to be your biggest. And I'm not saying Cam didn't do well. You know, we saw the press conference, all that. Point being, okay, this is your display. But I don't like when we say, oh, I'm going to absolve you of this moment, of this responsibility. Nah, go through it. However you go through it. Some people don't even want to go to the press conference. Will Campbell, he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I got abused out there. All right, deal with the fallout. Or you want to go up there and fake it. Or you want to go up there and be real. I don't care. But the point is, we're not going to now excuse you because look at this one. This is tough. You tougher if you believe it.
And now he's at the podium. Y'all just don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, y'all don't know what that's like. Like, have you had to play a game when you've come off an injury 3 days before? Y'all don't know what it's like. Like, true story, I've told y'all. Tore my groin on Sunday, played on Thursday versus the Cowboys. 2nd-degree tear. Y'all don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, tore my MCL versus the Packers, stayed in the game, had a cover 2 drop on a knee with no ligament in it. Y'all don't know what it's like.
Noodles.
Like,
no packy.
Nebraska, I get a concussion. I'm concussed and got another torn MCL. I don't even know what day of the week it is.
Damn.
What's this guy's name? I want to give him some respect and credit. And then them curls, they working, girl. I know it's a dude, but I used to, boy, remind me of them pretty girls at UCLA. Their hair look like that. All right, keep going.
Play the game. So y'all just don't know what it's like. So there just comes points in time where it's like, I don't say this to demean. I just say this like, in life, we must all have boundaries. And if we don't have boundaries, we must all at least check our ego when somebody says, hey, but you don't know this. That's why whenever Shady does, I'm like, you right.
Yeah, but this boundary talk is just how far you'll go. We're talking entertainment. First of all, this is not life or death. You lost the game. Get up. Like, be real. If you're a dad and you watch your son over there at the podium and he over there crying his eyes out, you're like, yeah, man, it hurts. Keep going. Cry. I ain't tripping. But when you don't want that moment, we don't want what comes from that moment, the consequences of that moment, good or bad, now we got to talk. You were built for that moment. Good, bad, and ugly. That's why it was there for you. You can handle it. Come on. So you can't get to the place where you're starting to talk like this. Your boundaries are not my boundaries. I remember Andrew Dice Clay when he first hit. That was the first person I was like, yo, he don't give a not the first, let me say it. The most that resonated with me, like, he don't give a funk. He's saying what? He was turning nursery rhymes into X-rated poems. And it, why? Because his boundaries weren't our boundaries. Now, imagine if you were giving advice and you're saying, hey, I wouldn't do that. Why? Because that's just too far. Too far for you? Look what it's going to do for me forever.
I have no idea what it is like to be an all-pro. You know, I know how it's like to play a good game. I know what it's like to play a good career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that, to me, is the only thing, T. That's my only thing.
I don't mind, like, the opinion of somebody that's never played a lot of times can be a lot different and unique than ours because we played. I welcome that because they see it from a different lens than we see it, and they think it from a different mind than how we think it. And
look at us. We can't see the forest from the trees, and then they just fly by on that helicopter like, spotted. I see suspect down there.
That's the people that make all the decisions. The majority of them, not all. Didn't play.
Yeah.
They didn't play, but they're tasked with saying you can play or you can't play.
Woo!
But
That's fair.
they didn't play. And so you to me, I take it with a grain of salt. Again, just don't make it personal because you're going to run into some players that when they see you, now the camera ain't on, you're not on TV, you got to be willing to answer those questions face to face.
Yeah.
But that's their podium. See? The athlete, Super Bowl, Cam, you lost. Get to the podium. Okay, Stephen A., you want to make it personal? Go ahead, play that game. But one day I'm going to see you, LeBron, courtside, podium, speak. Oh, you don't want to? Oh, you want to hide behind your friends? Oh, you want to talk about your contract just dropped today? If your contract just dropped, you good. That money guaranteed. Let's go. Talk it. See what I'm saying? Let them have their podiums. They're going to present themselves, trust me.
That's the thing.
They saying you sound light-skinned in the chat, Acho.
But again, you know me, I don't care because I've done it.
Yeah.
That's why, truly, people like, bro, the only reason I joked so much about the private school, I've actually had to.
I think that's the funniest thing to me, though. Whenever you have a take that might be dog shit, you do have it now, someone else, a couple times. I mean, as we all do in this business, you're just gonna have some bad takes. But the funniest thing is, like, whenever you have a bad take and then people like post your stats, it's like, brother, post your stats.
That are on ESPN.
Click the huddle, brother. Like, were you an All-American? Like, if it was a player coming at you about the stats, they've been there, they've done it. It's kind of like Shady, like All-Pro level player, All-Decade team, whatever it is. Yep. it is what it is. But also, 9 times out of 10, the people that are in those positions don't care to just talk about your stats and that because they know what it took to be able to get there.
And you can always tell like who's insecure about their careers and what's not.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, there's no insecurity about the career. Like that's why I was like, I wasn't like that. Now I was a really good special teams player. Really good special teams player. Like as a linebacker, cool. Made it to the league, got out, we kept it pushing. So I'm with T. At the end of the day, don't make it personal. And then it's just be mindful of what you're talking about. And if you have limitations in regards to what you're talking about. Because like that's where I'm gonna leave it. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
Good. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Fascinating, right? We gave that thing an hour. We went in, as we should have, though. I think that was very necessary because we're here for sports. Here's for sports media. That's our conversation. That's our sweet spot, and they went there. They didn't hold anything back. I will say this, though, on that last point Acho was making. Because someone lesser than you takes a shot, please let's not act like and dismiss it like it didn't hit. I don't like that. I don't like that part. Like, oh, post your stats. I don't have to post my stats. I don't have any stats. But your stats are not good. And then you're going to say, oh, this doesn't affect me or this doesn't hurt me because you don't even have stats. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I can prove how it does. I watch a lot on social media who blocks who mutes who doesn't go back and forth with who takes off their comments, who like all that stuff. Why do people do that? Why does Acho do that? You know why? Because it hurts. Because it got through. So when we get here, like with this mic, I can sound like anybody. But in this life, if you know how to bring these receipts, we got to understand we in this together. So someone who does not have the experience as you still has a gun to shoot. You may say the ammunition is not that strong, but last time I checked, a CO2 BB gun is an assault with a deadly weapon. Why? Because I almost got arrested for it. And if a CO2 can hurt you, trust me, somebody with a deuce can as well. So beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. But all these cats out here blocking each other, mad at each other. And then at the same time, nothing gets to me. Man, shut it. Got a little something on there. All right, let's beat it up. We got to talk about Bam. Oh, my God. We got to talk about Bam. Fascinating question because everybody's hating on Bam. But I'm like, all right, what would you have done if you were Bam? What the hell were you going to do? Talk through it. Beat it up in the comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Become a member. Brian Untitled. If you punch up, I will punch down. Preach. Boy, people be trying to discredit somebody. Just like the homeless person in front of the liquor store. Oh, like he ain't got no jewels to drop. Man, I don't heard jewels and gems from everywhere. You think I don't see punches coming from everywhere? And sometimes they hit, even if they don't have credence, just because they know what to do. Let's go get it.
It's about how many points you scored.
Yes. All I would ask is let's everyone put themselves in Bam's shoes. You talking about a kid who grew up single mom, trailer park, I believe, in North Carolina, trying to figure it out. This kid gets to the point to where he becomes pretty good at basketball, goes to Kentucky for 1 year, gets drafted probably later than what he should have been, but luckily for him, falls to an unbelievable organization, the Miami Heat, right? He's been to the finals twice. He's been an all-star. He's a gold medalist. And he's done all this as not a utility guy, but a hard hat, lunch pail, steel-toe boots type of basketball player. And lo and behold, this guy gets to shine one night on the offensive end. He never complained about nobody else's shine. His mom is in the crowd. His lady is in the crowd. Asia.
Man, y'all hearing this build up? This is insane. Y'all should feel bad for hating on this man. This man, he needs a Pulitzer Prize or something. He get a Nobel Peace Prize or something.
Asia Wilson, she's there. And he
the whole
gets
thing is awesome.
Right, and he gets to shine one night after he's helped you build this house and build this building and do this, do that. Why aren't we happy for Bam Adebayo? It's
people
crazy
always
to me.
like, why do bad things happen to good people? Here's good things happening to good people.
Right.
Like,
Let's
be
celebrate
happy for
it.
him.
And by the way, this doesn't diminish his Kobe's 81.
83. So if you have 30.
Blah, blah, blah. Y'all know how I feel about this whole scenario of how people turning on him for doing the record and breaking the record. He didn't break a record. He broke some Miami Heat franchise record, but he didn't break Kobe's record. Kobe's record is not a record. Bam's record is not a record. Wilt's record is a record. It really just comes off as like, what are y'all talking about? What are people talking about? What was wrong with this man going out there and getting 83 points? If coach ever says in the locker room before a game, imagine we watching a televised broadcast and coach is in the locker room. All right, guys, today we about to go after it. Okay? All right, you know the game plan, but I'm going to do something special today. We're going to really try our damnness to get somebody 83 points. Any of you guys volunteering? Ah! Okay, here's one thing. You're going to have to play against the other team, and maybe they don't agree. Like, who ain't raising their hand to try and get that damn 83? But nah, everybody want to hate on it. Oh, God. Whew. All right, let's two-part this Max Crosby real quick because I'm going through the big stories, and then we got to get to that Ryan Clark. He mad that he's in a war video. We got to get that broken down, too. All that and more. Let's go.
The Max Crosby trade reversed. And I don't think I can overstate how devastating I think this is for the Raiders. They were going to get 2 first-round draft picks, one this year, one next year. Plus their philosophy in free agency probably was, banking on the fact they were getting rid of Max Crosby and his contract and going to the Ravens, so they had a different philosophy here. Who they were going after, how much money they were going to spend. But the Ravens said, hey, didn't pass our physical, and we're sending him back.
Okay, look, who hasn't been in that relationship on that situation where it's like the real reason can't be told, but I still got to get up out of this, right? You got to spare feelings, basically, to save face, really. And you're like, I got to dip. Who hasn't been in that predicament before where you're like, golly, can't do this. I can't do this. But I can't tell her why. I dated one girl one time. I'm going to keep it vague because I don't want anybody trying to figure this out. Long story short, I thought she was way more attractive and her wherewithal was bigger than it was, greater than it was. So I was mesmerized at first. She was a big girl, you know me. That was my kryptonite. Big old tall girl, Amazon, as they say. And I was like, wow. And then she presented herself as sophisticated. And then we got to know each other. And over a while, I was like, oh, you kind of hood. You kind of ghetto. This ain't it. Like, come on now. I'm from it too, but come on. Dust it off. Polish it up. We going to a lot of good places. Come on now. And then finally, I was just like, I'm telling her this in the nicest ways. And, I'm telling her this in the roundabout ways, direct ways. I couldn't find a way. Finally, I just was like, yeah, we can't do this. And the reason we couldn't do this was not the reason we couldn't do it. It just had to get up out of that Max Crosby.
This has happened before. Now, it's happened in other sports. Remember Carlos Correa with the Mets? Mark Williams, the Hornets, he was going to go to the Lakers. And the Ravens have done this before. Now, these weren't big names. Ryan Grant in 2018 failed a physical. 2020, Michael Brockers had an agreement with the Ravens, but they were concerned about his left ankle. And that deal fell through as well. I'm just surprised that the Ravens said, upon further examination, maybe there's long-term damage in that knee.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Let's get up out of there. Basically what they're saying, under further examination, we have buyer's remorse. Under further examination, things look a little different around here. And 2 firsts and a big old contract for this dude that's 29 with a knee that looks a little bit like it could be wobbly going forward. What were we thinking? Come on now. You know what's funny? One thing that really hooked me into sociology was I took this class, the sociology of life, and it showed you in day-to-day interactions how things are still programmed. So one of them was we had to do some work on retail stores. And do you know that retail stores, they put products where they put them on purpose because of sociology. They know that the men are not trying to travel around this whole store. So they put the women's stuff in the back. Okay? Then they put the men's stuff closer to the front. Then they said they always put the things that you're really not thinking of or are smaller in scale right before you leave. Because then you'll be like, oh, man, I forgot. Oh, you see it and then be like, oh, I forgot that. And then you just grab it because you think it's nothing. You think it's little. Because you already did your big shopping. So you're like, oh, no. But imagine if they flip that. You'd be like, nah, I can't do that because I already got all this little stuff. So it's crazy. Like, everything still has this, like, socially engineered programming to it. And you think it's just coincidence. You think it just happenstance. You just think, oh, well, that's where it's at. No. And then they talk about the directions and right to left and how people move and their natural flow. When you go in the store, naturally you want to go right. It's crazy. Crazy. Little stuff like that. So when I hear this Max Crosby rescinded trade, all I think about is, guess what? Max Crosby, they had the second thoughts. And who ain't been in that relationship? Second thoughts. Okay, we got to get into this NFL conversation. This is good. I forgot about this one. Bomani Jones sitting there breaking it down. Talking about what's going on with Dominique Foxworth about the new NFL. We may have more NFL games. Can y'all believe that? Another NFL game. What are they talking about? Thanksgiving Eve? Let's go.
What you think about the NFL exploring playing the game on Thanksgiving Eve?
I believe that oversaturation is a thing. Ask the NBA. I also recognize that if I had something that people was willing to pay $1 billion for, I figure out how to make new ones all the time. If I had a widget that people was like, I give you $1 billion for, I would chop that thing up, step on it so many times, cut that thing, twist it and reverse it, and sell it to them again.
Yeah.
Which is like I can't blame them for doing it, but as someone who's not gonna like make any more money off of this, like I recognize that, God, like there was part of the reason why I think the NFL has taken over this country as far as a media product is concerned. Part of the reason is because of the value and the exclusivity and the eventization of every Sunday, every Monday.
Think about it. First of all, inventivization. Man, I ain't even going to look that up because I feel like I'm going to be wrong. That sounds like a word. Here's the thing. We've left the scarcity model. Remember the scarcity model? Because we all were programmed. So it was scarcity. There were fewer programs, fewer channels, fewer networks, and everything was a scarcity model because you had to tune in at 8 p.m. or else it's gone. Your favorite show, you had to watch Different Strokes at 8 p.m. or else. You had to wait till next week. There wasn't no DVR, no TiVo, etc. NFL was around then. NFL knew the programming model. Then NFL also saw the on-demand model kick in. And the NFL, if you notice, they acting different now. They see this on-demand model, and they like, wait a minute. We could get more games because it's all about content. It's all about content is king. And guess what? The NFL used to have, 12 games? 14? 16? 17? Now they talking about 18? Why? Because we out of the scarcity model, dog. Give them what they need. Give them what they want. At the same time, let's do it in doses. So then they went from that, and in the process, concurrently, they also said Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Did they got a Friday game too? Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Black Friday. People want it. We are out of this whole, I gotta wait, starve me. When the album drop? Nobody cares when the album drops now. The album better be out. When I go on Apple, when I go on Spotify, it better be out. And I want it when I want it. That's where we are now.
Hey, every Thursday. I know we got a long way to go, but we adding 16 to 17. They talking about adding 18 now. We got Christmas. We got all the holidays. They got some shit on Netflix. They got it on Hulu and Peacock. And now they want to take Thanksgiving Eve, which ain't even a thing. I ain't never heard nobody say Thanksgiving Eve before in my life. But, yeah, it's hard to argue with the finances of it. This is about like the transition that happens for like many great art forms from like art to capitalism. Not that this hasn't been deeply enmeshed into capitalism in a long time, but it does feel like the more you just like sell, the like cheaper it all becomes.
Man, he nailed that. And on top of that, it's a parallel to what we were talking about before with Stephen A. Smith and Acho, the person who didn't play. And then the person who did play. Now, why did you play? Like, if you really want to get to the core of it, the incentives were shaping the behavior. You knew how good football felt and how good basketball felt to play. The esteem you got, the identity you got, right? All of the love and all of the peer support and your family and how proud they were. And then that turns into some money and scholarships and opportunities and go to the better schools and the prettier girls. We know. It's all about what comes with it. And it feels like, you know what comes with more games? You know what comes with more days? More money. So the capitalism is inevitable. Why does that always happen to the art form? Why does that always happen to the individual? It's because we ain't telling the truth. The real is we try to get to the dough. Life is nothing but a sandwich. No matter how you flip it, the bread comes first.
Yeah, my issue is it's a Wednesday night game. Like you mentioned the NBA. I think a mistake, at least to me, it seems like a mistake the NFL is making. They don't feel like it matters. Yeah. But the difference between the NFL and the NBA is that the NBA is a players' league and the NFL is not. The NFL is a franchise league. It is a brand league. But the players at some point do matter. And what we've seen with the NBA as a result of the style of changes, the changes of style of play, is that the players physically cannot withstand it. Right? Like we are seeing their bodies break down, and therefore we see less of them, and we complain about it when they try to do the things to protect or anything else. NFL ain't a game that allow for no load management, right? The stakes are too high, the margins are too thin. You cannot do that. But all these things they're doing with the games are just making it more and more likely that people get hurt. And we've had those stretches during this season when you get down and it's the bye weeks and it's not that many teams playing, and then you start looking around and these cats just aren't out there. Like, there are stretches of the NFL schedule, like really, and it's really around this time of Thanksgiving when you start putting these games and all these different days, and what they start diluting, and where I think they're making a strategic mistake when they do this, what they are diluting is the day Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk through that, because to counter the injury conversation and the injury concerns, it's an easy fix, but really why it hasn't occurred yet is because it doesn't sound as humane as you desire. So you got to remember, the NFL, as the roster is constructed right now, what do they have, 63 people or something like that? They increased it. And that's going to be the answer, increase the roster. But right now we're here at this number. I think it's 63. With that number, you forget we are suppressing the opportunities. We are creating the scarcity in how valuable it is to be an NFL player. We are making your imagination run wild because you know how difficult it is to make this a reality. Think about it. The line to be in the NFL is around the globe 200 times. You don't believe me? Drive through your neighborhood and see how many high school football fields you have. And every time you drive by one, I don't know, per average, let's just say multiply it by 50. There's at least 50 players on every high school team. Some teams got 100. Some teams got like 20-something. Okay, we're going to do that. Just keep doing it. You're going to go by 20 high schools, right? You're going to be like, damn. That's 1,000. That's just your neighborhood. That's just your little city, your locale. Keep going. Come on now. So here we go. Food shortage. Remember we used to hear about food shortage? Oh, man, then it went from the, just regular old food out there and the regular old chicken. Then they start saying, non-GMO, and then they start saying, organic and grass-fed and all that. Then they start saying, engineered. You can play with the numbers. The NFL knows they can engineer more football players. They know how. Just open up the floodgates. All right, we got 80 on the roster now. We got 90. We making the money? Okay, we making the money? Oh, man. So what they're doing is they're saying they're testing the demand first. Make sure they don't oversaturate, because they haven't yet. Not what these networks are paying, and not with streaming, and not with the tech companies into it now. It's a whole new jackpot. It's the Gold Rush 2.0. First, it was just broadcast networks and cable. Now they got tech companies? What? That's so much money. So now they're like, all right, so the demand is still there. People still watching. We're making our partners happy. Oh, we need more? Oh, the guys are breaking down? Add 10 more to the roster. Let's go. What you gonna say? right now, the model is rigged, and they are doing the rigging.
Like what makes y'all shit so much different than everything else is y'all got this whole day that's loaded with stuff. And instead, you put a little bit here, you put a little bit there. It's like Major League Baseball, and I think NFL is going to do this too, where opening day is not opening day because you started your season in Japan 2 weeks early, right? And you start diluting opening day of baseball used to be a thing that I cannot explain to people what it is now because they diluted it. So
well, baseball used to be a thing, and then they diluted it. Blah, blah, blah. But I digress. A little bit of joke in there, a little bit of seriousness. Baseball doesn't hit the same, even though baseball is still baseball. They still making that dough. Here's the thing. When you look at what the NFL is as a product, like I'm not going to argue with the NFL and what they're doing. I don't want just Sunday. I don't. Now, do I want it all the time? No. I don't want tacos with ketchup every night. I'll take a couple nights a week. It'd be nice, honey. But at the same time, it reminds me of like when you go to these cities and they got a First Friday, you know? And the First Friday, boy, it's cracking. It's crowded. But don't you want to go out also another time in that month? Yeah. Okay, so that's a different model. Okay, so then you got a spot. You know the local spot, and every Sunday is cracking. Now, don't you go Sunday, you're like, damn, that was dope. And you recover by Wednesday, and you're like, Thursday hit, and you're like, it'd be nice to go to something of that level again. Maybe not to the same spot, because all these games are different. We're not going to the same game. But just be nice to get that again. Like 2-3 days, that's it. You know how it is. So I think the NFL is running a model that they're really doing the science on how people act. And the way we act, we want more. Oh, we're going to pay for it too. Everybody I know that complains about food going up and fast food and how much this damn Big Mac costs and all that. I saw somebody just say that. Who just said that? In the comments. $15 Big Mac. Yeah. Okie Mute. Sick Pea. $15 for Big Mac, fries and drink. Yep. And guess what? You know how you know that? Because you paid it. Jesus. Boy, you go to Chick-fil-A, you order for your kids, you look up, and you be like, damn, I gotta go get a wire. I gotta wire you some money. How much is this? It is what it is. All right, beat it up in the comments. We got to get to this one topic. I got to play pickleball too. I'm playing some pickleball first time at the crib again. Yeah, I'm back. I've been playing with my homies, but I ain't played at my crib. Now I got to do it. I got to find this. We got the Ryan Clark. I'm going to save the Whitlock for tomorrow if I do tomorrow. Probably going to do Monday. But that Whitlock one is good. But since it's not right now, I could wait. Damn, I want to do this Kendrick and Drake one too. It's so good. Oh, man, we got too many topics. Beat it up in the comments. But Ryan Clark, you going to steal the show. Ooh, Aaron Donald doing a lot too. Oh, my God, Isaiah Thomas. Oh, we got to talk about women and men, what makes us happy. We still got that. Ice Cube got called an ignorant clown. What the hell is going on? Can I get to this? Is it anywhere here? I don't even know where it is. Let me see. Okay, bear with me, y'all, because I got to get to this. Thought it was really good. Come on, Wiley. Yay, here we go. Talk it.
RC. They found a way to put your hard-hitting ass on the tube, don't they? So I recently saw some stuff coming out of the White House from the White House Twitter page. Mm-hmm. And it's just a group of NFL guys hitting people. But you were in there. What are your thoughts on them using your image to
Yeah, man. So I didn't know about the post. I didn't know I was in it until different people from media outlets started sending it to me to ask me the question. I've backed away from X because of the negativity, the toxicity.
All right, I do not like when people say that because I think the algorithm knows you better than you probably even know yourself, or at least want to admit. Dog, there's been times my algorithm been nothing but like what I'm going through, right? It's almost like a reflection of you. It's almost like when you see somebody, they move into your city. Everyone who comes to LA, they be like, man, how is LA? And I'm saying, I'm from here. I'm still here. It's amazing. LA gonna show you who you are. If you wanted it to be Hollywood, it's gonna be Hollywood. If you wanted it to be chill, it's gonna be chill. You wanted it to be ghetto and gangster, it's gonna be ghetto and gangster. Like, we blame it. It's you. So to leave X because people, I don't know. That's just my mindset.
And I honestly don't have an immediate rage emotion about being involved in the video. but I am disappointed that the video was even made.
So it's the video, the war video.
Yes, I'm disappointed that because for one, to have Tropic Thunder and football highlights on a video about war is one of the more insensitive things that I've ever seen.
He ain't lying there. I can't lie. I remember when I got slapped in the face. I think it was a coach one time where, because the war examples live in football, especially because it's a militaristic sport in terms of design, right? You know, you got your front line and then you got your opponent line, and we're all going up and down the field. We are trying to move each other up and down the field against your will, right? So I remember I was kind of like buying into it. And, you know, a lot of times you hear some of the terminology and the guys will go there like, oh, we're going to battle today. Are these bullets alive? And then literally before this show, a couple hours ago, a video popped up of a kid who said he was asleep and he woke up to an airstrike, killed both his parents, like 6 of his family members. And he said, I woke up and I saw my daddy sliced up. And when I saw that, I was like, and the kid's in the hospital. And he said, I wish it was me dead, not my father, because I don't want to live with that image. So when you hear all that and you know all that and you know this is real, and then we talking about a game, we shouldn't think of them the same.
There are families here in our country whose loved ones have decided to give their life to fight for our rights and our freedoms, who don't see war as a sport. War doesn't deserve a highlight film. For Tropic Thunder to be a part of it. War is not a comedy. And for these people to be risking their lives, not for our safety as much as for someone else's agenda.
God. Look, if you're going to have some continual virality, like you're just going to be in the algorithm, if you're going to be someone who is doing this, and look, the White House, President Trump, whoever made the video, they don't need that. They are part of the machinery. But the point is, even as creators, even as analysts like Ryan Clark, we know where the line is and we know how to cross the line, and we know being a habitual line stepper gets you attention, and attention is currency today. So doing things the right way, as I always use this example, the first pitch in baseball. Throw a normal first pitch, you will not be on SportsCenter. Throw an insanely crazy, unathletic first pitch and it lands and hits somebody in the butt cheek in the 5th row, you're on SportsCenter. Doing the insane is the thing that gets people into it. It's a weird world. It's a weird space because I grew up in a different world where mind your business, where, you know, keep your nose down, keep your head down, when, doing the right thing was going to be rewarded. What'd you say? Like Drewski literally going to the NFL honors. If anything, there's one place in the NFL in terms of all of their pageantry, you don't act a donkey. And it's the NFL honors, right? Even the clowns get dressed up. Even the knuckleheads know button up. Goodell ain't playing today. And that, he turned, JSN's name into, you know what it is. Why? That, if he would have did it the normal way, he said it perfectly, we wouldn't even seen the clip. You know how it goes.
For our regime to be as unserious, as unprofessional, as laughable, and as illegitimate as our leadership is right now is embarrassing. And it tells you the difference between a public servant and a reality star, right? Because the reality star needs everybody to know at all times, oh, look at me, look at the attention I'm garnering, we're doing this for me. The public servant stands at attention for 45 minutes in a salute because he understands what those soldiers who gave their lives have done for our country.
Blah, blah, blah. We're going to part 2 that tomorrow. Let me say this. What you got to respect is what Ryan Clark is saying. He's like, come on, the gravity of this situation doesn't need to be made light of. And I understand that fully. At the same time, in everything I've been in, including me at times hosting shows at a Navy base, Air Force base, et cetera, going to the Air Force Academy, the soldiers, they want some levity. They want the entertainment value. They like these as highlights. They like this as popcorn to what they really got to do in the meat and potatoes, right? So sometimes we could be a little bit more into it in terms of seriousness than they are. They're like, no, it ain't that deep. Like, as long as you bring attention and bring respect to what we're doing, and you actually are honored that we are doing this for you, guess what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it regardless. But it feels good to know that you guys respect what we're doing. But I don't think that connecting it to the NFL and to some, historic movies makes all of them, or maybe many of them, feel a certain way. It made Ryan feel that way because he doesn't want to be the one poking fun at something so serious. So I understand where he's coming from. But the people who are on the other side, let's just say that, they taking that shine and saying, thank you. We got to do the dirty work now. So beat up in the comments. I understand where he's going. I understand where what he felt. You don't play with Ryan's NIL like that. But at the same time, I think those soldiers probably sitting there like, oh, man, look at that. That's dope. Look what they did for us. You never know. Beat up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Wah, wah, wah. All right, y'all. So now, show. Hey, pickleball waits. Pickleball waits. I can't wait any longer. I'm sorry. Give y'all some love. Give y'all some love. This was a good show. It was a really good show. Look at me going live. This was my favorite show ever. Okay, buddy. Sure it was. Sure it was. All right, y'all. So get up out of here. Like, subscribe, and hit the membership button. Like, subscribe, membership button. Pickleball calls. Peace.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I think it's the